An ancient voice, whispering from the void, and it chills my lightless heart.
G'day guys, Duckville here. We're going to have a look at a couple of replays. Actually, I'm going to put a few of these in a little pack for you guys, just to make it easier. Make life easier, as I try and do for some of you guys. But this is actually going to be a little pack of our main feature player, who would be Butterfly from, that's obviously TheButterflyEffect, who is in the Zenex team. And we're just going to have a look at a couple of games that he's just recently played. These actually just went up this morning on PlayXP. And we're just going to have a look at a few games here against some very high profile players. So as we can see, he's starting off down here in the bottom left position of Xel'Naga Bat Caverns, and he's just going to be starting off with, looks like to be a standard sort of walling, because his opponent here today is the GSL, one of the GSL champions, oGsMC. So very, very high quality Protoss player, one of the very few Protoss that actually started really dominating the scene. He's obviously really high quality, probably, I would say probably one of, if not the best Protoss in the world. I suppose you could make the argument that he won the GSL, so therefore he probably has to be close to it. But we'll see what he can do. He's been very famous lately for doing these very sort of high intensity sentry attacks. He'll sort of get to maybe 6 gates off 2 bases, and then just say screw it, I'm going in, and sends in like a bunch of sentries. And the Terran opponents will generally, of course, set up a few bunkers. And just the absolute beauty of how MC does it is that he chucks down these beautiful force fields and blocks off the bunkers, and essentially sort of nullifies them in a way. It's quite interesting to see. But as we can see, he's just scouting in here, sees that there's 1 gas already, so there's not going to be any barracks foolery, that's what I was looking for. And as we can see, Butterfly is now scouting in, sees that the cyber core is down, only sees 1 gas for the moment, but you don't always see the second gas straight away. In fact, there it goes. So the second gas for Protoss, if you're doing a standard sort of build, will generally come when the cyber is sort of at the quarter mark, maybe halfway, something like that, just so you don't waste any of those earlier minerals, and you can keep pumping out your probes. As you can see on the income tab, we've actually got MC just a tiny bit ahead at the moment. He's currently sitting on 19 probes to the 15 SCVs of TvButterflyEffect. So Butterfly just a tiny bit behind. It's not too much of a consequence, of course, because he does have a mule, which is of course giving him this huge lead in the income anyway. So what it looks to be for the moment, because Butterfly has not taken his second gas, I would think that this is going to be a concussion expand, and there's the concussive shells on the way from Butterfly. He's getting a second racks up. Yeah, so I'm going to assume this is going to be a Marauder concussion expand. Quite a strong expansion. Not going to be too powerful, especially in higher levels against these sorts of Protoss players who have really great skill with their force fields and with the unit. With the usage of their units. MC just picking off that SCV there. But yeah, so I believe that we will see him go for the concussion expand, which will mean he'll get out maybe a couple more Marauders, as we can see there. Actually, he's going to get a couple more out and probably chuck the command center down quite soon. You would probably... Oh no, he's grabbing the second gas. So we may see something different. I'm not too sure. I'm not a Terran expert, unfortunately, but we'll see what happens. It looks as if he's got a probe. MC's got a probe coming in to check, but some really nice micros. Saves the probe, and he's going to go around the other way, but unfortunately he has been sandwiched in, and the probe is now going to die. But if we see here, we do have that first initial Stalker and the Zealot coming in from MC. They're going to come down here and just maintain a bit of control. They do spot these 4 Marauders though, and the Marauders are easily going to pick off that Zealot now that they do have their concussive shells. So MC's going to need to pull these Stalkers back. He does have 2 out at the moment. They have no hope against that Marine Marauder force. Of course, it was down there. Stim is also on the way, which is half done. So we may see some attempted little timing attack here from Butterfly, but I'm not really sure just for the moment. It looks as if he's definitely going for this economy sort of expansion. Nothing too deadly to attack his opponent with. So we've got MC picking up the second gate there. He's going to have that one ready. He does have an Immortal out already, so he can defend against these Marauders, which is a great little start for him. So he's going to have enough. That Marine, unfortunately, getting picked off. The Stalkers that were there spotted him and shot him down, so that guy has not had a good day today. But as you can see, MC starting to build up some of his sentries as well. So I'll be interested to see how many he gets. Sometimes what you see a lot of Protoss do at this sort of level is grab maybe 4, maybe 5 sentries, because you really do need that many to expand. And as we can see, he's grabbing a few more, and then we will probably see him take this Nexus here. So we'll see what happens. And down here, as we mentioned before, we do have that this very heavy Marauder expansion coming along from Butterfly. He's going to get this command center just up and running now. Do not be surprised if we see this switch over into an orbital command. I'm sort of really losing my words at the moment. Probably see that switch over shortly, but either way, there we go, it's coming along. And he's going to get that one up and running and then float it down to the natural expansion, of course. Now, as we can see here, he's getting this second bunker up and running. Now, this is the little bit of a questionable part for how Butterfly proceeds from here, because he knows that MC is a very, very skilled player, and he's obviously also very skilled with his force fields as well. So he's going to need to be very careful, but he probably suspects that MC is actually just expanding, which indeed he is. And as you can see here, we do have those 5 sentries that I mentioned that you generally need to expand with as a Protoss. And he does have a couple of Immortals out as well. A couple more gateways coming through now as well. So we are going to see some Colossi, I would assume. He does have the Robotics Bay here on the way. That'll be done in just a jiffy. But we do see that he is moving out with some Stalkers. So we'll see if Butterfly can... if he's going to be fooled by this sort of little bit of pressure, but I'm assuming that MC is just scouting out what's happening around the map, making sure he's got map control and making sure that Butterfly does not have map control himself. But as you can see, Marine comes in here. Marine spots that this Nexus is now done. The gas has started. The probes are transferring. And there we go. So that Marine dies down to a couple of those sentries that were there. So we are we're in a bit of a spot where these guys are sort of making the decisions as to whether they want to push or whether they want to actually just sort of sit back and try and equalize their macro, because as you can see from the tab here at the moment, MC is still doing a great job with his probes, currently sitting at 40 probes to the 32 of Butterfly. Butterfly, of course, does have the mules, as we mentioned before, but when it sort of comes a bit later, when he may need the scans, the mules won't be there to supplement his income, so we'll see what happens. But as we can see here, we do have a little bit of a move out here from Butterfly. He's just checking out the map. This does look to be like he might try and go in for an attack. He's scanned in. You can see that there are a couple of Immortals here on the Nexus, just making sure they're defending against that. He may have seen that Colossus, but I'm not actually sure. That came in the last part of that scan. But as you can see, Marine bravely going in, spots the Colossus, so Butterfly is probably going to retreat back now, because there is certainly enough to at least hold back that Terran force with a couple of Immortals, the Colossi, and many sentries. So we do have extended thermal lance on the way from MC. He's going to pump out a few more Stalkers as well. He's just making sure that his base is covered. Of course, you don't want those medevacs that were down here to cause a lot of trouble and come in and drop some Marauders on your base. Which is, of course, never any fun at all. So we'll see what Butterfly does from here. It looks as if both of these guys are just going to try and supplement, get their upgrades up and running. He's got just a couple of bunkers, one bunker being sacrificed, not the other one. He's just going to keep that one up and running. A lot of Terran players actually sort of underutilize bunkers, I think, given that you can refund them for the full amount. You get that whole price back, of course. And it just seems as if a lot of players are still in the mindset that if you build a bunker, you can't actually get the money back. But of course, that was back in the days of SC1. So it is something which I think still a lot of Terrans have got to use a little bit more in their defense, of course. But of course, if you're in that situation where you do need some minerals, of course, they are a great way to just get a quick little boost to make sure you can purchase something such as an upgrade or a particular unit. And as we can see, speaking of units, we have a Ghost Academy, there it is, which is now done from Butterfly. He's got one Ghost on the way. We also have combat shields coming through as well. So back on MC's side, whilst he's moving out with those forces, we'll just have a quick look at his upgrades. He does have Blink on the way, and another Observer coming out, which is interesting. And apart from that, he does have the Templar Archives on the way as well, so he's going to perhaps switch into Storm, or perhaps maybe mix it up with the Colossus a little bit, but I'm not really sure that's going to be sort of efficient way to do it on his gas, because if he goes for both the Templar and the Colossi, it's going to be really hard to pump that out with his 2-base gas income. So Butterfly just scouting out here, has a look at what's happening at oGsMC's 3rd base, but nothing there just for the moment. However, interestingly, a probe just came in and put the Nexus down, so very lucky timing there from MC, puts it down just after the Marine exits. And so Butterfly is now currently thinking, because if we have a look at his vision, he still has no idea that this is down, although we will see a Marine coming here shortly. It's on patrol, there you go. So he's just patrolling this area, scouts out that the Nexus is done. There is a little bit of a battle going on here in the middle, and we're going to see perhaps Butterfly move in. He might try and take some shots at the Colossi that are in this this ground force for MC, but not really sure just yet. They're sort of just jockeying for positions at the moment. They're both trying to make sure that the other does not have tower control. Perhaps interesting snipe there from MC, attempting to take out some of those Vikings, but as we can see here, Storm's going down, force fields blocking off some of these units, some more Storms coming down here, Vikings getting picked off by the dozen. But it looks as if MC is definitely going to win this battle. He has a huge amount of forces, but looks as if he's now going to retreat, because the Marauders started doing a lot of damage, and now as a counter-attack, Butterfly is going to walk in here to this 3rd base and is going to try and pick it off. The unfortunately for MC, he doesn't really get time to cancel that, but his Stalkers have moved in here. He's going to see if he can just distract the Marauders for the time being, and that Nexus is quite getting it's getting quite low there, but it looks as if Butterfly's decided to walk back. What was I going to say? The Templar, they're coming along. It actually puts a feedback down on the Medivacs, kills off the Medivacs, and it looks as if MC wins this battle for the time being. So just a nice little usage of his Templar there to put the feedback down on the Medivacs, and then of course his Stalkers blinking in to take care of the remaining Marauders. So interesting to see that MC has not gotten his Forge upgrades yet. He's sort of just making sure that he's spending his time and his money, of course, on his ground units. And as you can see here, holy moly, we are actually going up to what's that? We got 10 gates here, and the robotics, of course. But if we have a quick look down at the gold, it looks as if MC has spotted this gold expansion attempt here from Butterfly. It is almost done. That command center is done. It was finished off by an SCV, but then was actually killed off. Unfortunate for Butterfly there, actually losing that command center. That did not cancel from what I could see, but it looks as if he's certainly got enough money to put another one down, so he's going to start another one, see if he can get that one up and running, because if he does take that, that'll be quite a good position for him to actually be controlling the gold. Now one thing for MC to be careful of, especially since he does have Templar, is that these ghosts are out. The ghosts, of course, can use their EMP to nullify the energy on these Templar, and then of course also removes shields from most of these units. And given that MC actually has quite a heavy Stalker concentration, that could be quite damaging, given that once the Stalker shields are gone, they only have 80 health, so they will die quite quickly. But this Bioforce now moving in here for Butterfly. Meanwhile, he's actually brought down these Vikings that he has. He's decided that there aren't any Colossi out. He's going to try and use up these Vikings, killing off a few probes there. A Storm going down right in the middle of that bunch there. Meanwhile, flanking from the other side, the Marauder Marine and Medevac combo comes in, actually picks off all of the units that MC had here, but it looks as if he certainly does have enough units to defend it with. Attempting to counter flank, which is quite interesting. Brings in some more units from the back, and now warping in some more Zealots, some Templar coming up the back there, putting down some Storms. Beautiful placement of the Storms there, really picking up a lot of these units. And as we can see here, all of these units are almost dead themselves. They are going to need to eat some Weet-Bix because they are struggling for energy right now. But great little defense there from MC. Just sort of, it was a very deft defense. It was one of those moments, just like as a Zerg, where the Zerg sort of just hold off that attack. But it looks as if MC with his massive macro, and as we can see here, of course, the large amount of skill that he's got was able to hold that off quite quickly. Now, as we can see, Protoss ground weapons level 1 is on the way. Charge is going to be done soon for the Zealots that he does have out. Meanwhile, he's going to take the gold as well. If we just have a quick look down here at what Butterfly's got, he's got the gold expansion up and running quite nicely there. A couple of meals down, as well as a Fortress of Doom. You do not want to come up against that unless you have like Rambo and Arnie and all of that crap, because that will absolutely eat you for breakfast. But as you can see here, speaking of eating for breakfast, Marine Marauders just taking apart a lot of those Stalkers, but from the side some Templar and Archons and Zealots come in, but beautiful movement of his units here from Butterfly. Just sort of moving his Marauders around. Of course, they are still going to be in a lot of trouble, but they will retreat here to the Fortress of Doom, and they will be able to take refuge here just under the medevacs and next to the Planetary Fortress, because the fortress does so much damage, of course. Now, as we can see here, MC splitting his forces. I'm not sure if this is intentional or if this is just part of his gameplay, but he has split some off. He's occupying the natural there along with this gold here. Puts a storm down on the SCVs, and the SCVs get absolutely ripped apart there. The Stalkers, meanwhile, picking off medevacs, picking off SCVs, and they will now retreat. MC not getting too greedy there at all. He knows that Butterfly does not have this expansion, the fourth expansion. Meanwhile, MC is certainly able to get his own fourth, being the gold, up and running. So he's certainly going to be in a great position here. So we'll see what happens. It looks as if he may be trying to head in for perhaps another attack. He may be trying to go around the side. I'm not really sure what his plan is for the moment, but yes, indeed, he is going to go through the natural, I would suspect. But it looks as if Butterfly is aware, and he does bring some units up from the top. I'm not sure if this is going to be enough, though. There are a lot of Stalkers here. Beautiful EMP going down there. Some more storms. This is fantastic storm play from MC, and he does take out most of the units that we're attempting to defend here. Is going to come into the natural and try and take out this command center. Meanwhile, if we just have a look at the gold here, this gold is now up and running. MC is in a beautiful position. So if we just head back, we've got the command center just going down now. That one has all but died, and now it indeed has. The Archons and Zealots holding up the fort here at the ramp, just sort of blocking off some of these units. Meanwhile, Butterfly bringing out some SCVs to take some damage. Looks as if that wasn't enough, given that the Archons do have splash damage. And as we can see here, if we look on the damage tab, the Archons actually do 39 at the moment with their +1 upgrades to the biological units. So it's they are a very huge unit if you get them into a bio clump, and they will just rip apart everything. But as you can see here, Butterfly finally disposing of that last Archon that was giving him a bit of trouble, but the Stalkers actually got away. So we'll see if these Stalkers can link up with their comrades over here and actually make another push. As we can see on the map here, over at the 9 o'clock, it looks as if MC has taken his 5th base now. This is getting into quite a lot of trouble for Butterfly. If he does not do something and do it quickly, he is going to be in deep trouble. And as we can see, he's put up a lot of bunkers here. He's going to sell one of them because he doesn't need that one. And to give that one back, that was a terrible Christmas present. And meanwhile, we've got a bit of a flanking attack here. The Zealots and Templar are coming across from MC. Meanwhile, if we have a look down here, it looks as if his Stalkers are going to blink into the base. A couple of these dudes got left out. There's 3 of these guys just down here who didn't actually make it in. They did not pass the training school for blink. But it looks as if he's just got them on hold position for the moment. Meanwhile, if we have a quick look down here, some Zealots and Templar went in for an attack here. I think that was just a bit more of a distraction. Meanwhile, the Stalkers just coming in to take out these racks. He's going to remove these production facilities, and this could essentially be GG if it's not already for Butterfly. But it looks as if these Stalkers will escape. This one is not the best of the bunch. This guy got picked off, unfortunately, for MC. But it looks as if meanwhile the gold has sort of still stayed operational for the time being. A Zealot just coming in here to, he actually got a bit aggro there and went into these bunkers, which is not a greatest idea. And it looks as if this Marine Marauder is essentially the only thing left for Butterfly at the moment. He's certainly, as we mentioned before, in a lot of trouble. As we can see on the production tab, we actually have +3 to weapons on the way from MC. You know what that means? That means his Archons, when he morphs them, will be doing 43 damage, and that's splash damage, of course, to the biological component of Butterfly's army. So MC now in an absolutely commanding position, as we can see here, currently sitting on 2,000 income, morphing in 7 Archons. And these guys, as we mentioned before, do a whole heap of damage and have a lot of shields, and they will absolutely tear apart everything that MC has. Nice little bit of micro there, just pulling the Stalkers behind the Zealots. You don't want the Stalkers running in and making the Zealots dance behind. As we can see here, a huge attack coming in from MC. He's decided that enough is enough, bringing in those Archons to the front. The Zealots taking a lot of damage themselves, of course, but the Archons and Storm is going to be way too much for this. Even the Planetary Fortress, I do not think will be able to hold back this sort of attack. But it looks as if MC is doesn't want to go there at the moment. He's not cool with that, but there's the GG. Butterfly GG's out of this one. Just absolutely outplayed from a macro scale there. And check that out. We actually have that many gates. I don't know how many that is, but it is a whole heap. We got 2 pages of gates here, guys. So that was how well MC was playing, and just got this massive macro lead there and had a lot of map control. So brilliant play from MC, of course, being the probably the, as we said before, probably one of the top Protoss in the world, if not the top Protoss. Just absolutely dismantling Butterfly Effect here. So hope you guys liked that one. We've got a couple more coming up in this little pack, so stay tuned. Thanks, guys. Cheers.